Alright, today we're going to talk about Chapter 6. Now this video might be broken down into more than one video, but hopefully I can try to do it all just in one video here, and hopefully that because we've touched upon indirectly this chapter when talking about other things, that this video won't actually be all that long, and you'll actually have enjoyed being able to watch this at the comfort of your own home or in places at campus rather than being on class on Wednesday, March 17th. So Chapter 6, Contract. Well, the first issue is, what are the three elements of a contract? And now what I'm about to say is going to differ from the book, and it's what I've said previously in the class. A contract requires three elements: an offer, acceptance, and consideration. Now previously we talked about consideration as far as it could be money. For example, I will give you $25 in exchange for the car. So it's money in exchange for the car. The contract or the consideration could be promise to do or not do something. I promise not to go or not to grow trees in front of your solar panels in exchange for $50. So that's a promise to do something. But it could be money for money, it could be thing for thing, promise for thing. It doesn't matter as long as there's some consideration. And consideration, as we discussed earlier in the semester, is also important for an option contract or modifications, and we'll come back to that and just a little bit later down the audio here. Alright, so three parts of the contract: offer, acceptance, and consideration. And since we're doing this on video, and I expect that you'll have your book at the same time we're doing this, I'm not going to repeat everything that's in the book. So the book talks about what an offer is. The book also talks about what an offer is not. Sometimes you see, for example, an advertisement, say Best Buy, and it says Magnavox TV $750. If you run in there and you say, hey, I accept the offer, you don't have a binding contract, because what an advertisement is an invitation to make an offer. So they do the advertisement, Magnavox $700, then you go in there and say, I'd like to buy that Magnavox for $700, and you in fact are making the offer to them, and it's them accepting the offer, and then you have the contract. They did an invitation to offer the advertisement, you going in there saying, I'll buy that Magnavox for $700, that's your offer, they say yes, that's the acceptance, and the consideration is the TV for the money. So you have offer, acceptance, consideration. There's no specific language for, as the book says, as to what to make an offer. There's no magic words. But the book talks about how to, what are the elements of an offer. So let's just do a traditional offer. I will give you, I say, I will sell you my car for $100. And you say, that's the offer. It clearly identifies, I said, I will sell you the car. I'm identifying you as a person who has the ability to accept. I'm clearly identifying what's involved as in the contract. Now, the book talks about being clear as far as how the person has the ability to accept the offer. And that's important in many aspects, but usually it's clear from the language. I will sell you my car for $100. And as long as you accept it in a way before the offer is revoked, then you're going to have basically a contract. But if I say to you, I will sell you my car for $100, and the person next to you says sold, then you don't have a contract, because I'm clearly saying I will sell you the car for $100. If I said I will sell anyone that's hearing my voice the car for $100, or the first person that says they want to buy the car for $100, then I'm identifying who has the ability to accept the offer. But if I'm saying specifically to person A, I will sell you the car for $100, the fact that someone else says they'll take it doesn't mean that they have the power to accept the offer. Alright, so once again, as the book says, there are certain details that should be presented, included in an offer: who will be bound by the contract, what exactly is going to be exchanged, what are the terms, and what's the manner of the performance. Alright, now we're going to get to acceptance. The general rule is that there's something called a mirror image rule. And the mirror image rule means you have to accept exactly the same as was offered. So if I say, I will sell you the car for $100, and you say, I will take the car for $100 as long as it's washed first. You are adding an extra requirement that wasn't in the original offer. So what you've done there is you have considered to have rejected the offer and have made a counter offer, at which point in time I have the ability, as being the original offer, to either accept or turn down your counter offer. When you make a counter offer, like I said, you have rejected the offer, which therefore means if I were to say, no, I'm not going to wash the car. If you then turn around and say, oh fine, then I'll accept the car for the deal for $100, my response very simply can be, well no, you've already rejected the offer, so you have no contract. So it has to be a mirror image rule. There's an exception, you don't need to know for the class, but just in case you're curious, under the Uniform Commercial Code, there's an exception when both people are merchants. There can be changes so long as it's not a material change. But you don't need to know that for the class. What you need to know is that the rule is that there has to be a mirror image to your acceptance, has to be in the same terms of the original offer. You change anything, then you've made a counter offer and you've in effect rejected the first offer. Going back to the offer for a moment, when the person makes the original offer, they can say the manner in which it has to be accepted. They can say, the car for $100 you have to accept, say, by Tuesday the 15th. And your acceptance has to be in writing. Then, if that's the way it is, then if you accept the offer on the 16th, it's too late, you've missed the time that the offer was valid. And if you accept in some way other than in writing, then you have not accepted pursuant to the terms of the offer, and therefore you have not validly accepted the offer. Of course, if you say originally says it should be in writing or must be in writing, and you respond verbally, and the original offer says then that's fine, then you're going to have a contract under different terms. Excuse me, you're going to have a contract under the theory of you made an offer and it was accepted by the other person. Because remember, if you accept it in a way that's not made the way the original offer was made, you have not accepted the contract. Instead, you've made a separate contract. So if I say I'll sell you the car for $100, you must do so in writing by February 15th. And on February 13th, you say to me, "Hey, I'll buy your car for I'll buy your car for $100," and I say that's fine. You've made the offer, and I've accepted it because you clearly haven't accepted my terms because you haven't accepted pursuant to the way the agreement was. Because I said you must do so in writing. So there's no legal contract because you've attempted to accept it in a way differently than I said is a valid acceptance. All right. If I say you have until February 15th to accept the offer in writing, I have the legal ability at any point in time prior to that date coming to say to you, I'm revoking the offer. You can't say to me, well, wait a minute, February 15th isn't here. I still have time. No. I have the ability to revoke the offer at any point in time prior to you accepting the offer. The exception to that is an option contract. Under an option contract, if you pay me or you give me consideration to keep an offer open for a period of time, then I cannot revoke the offer. But what we really have there is a mini contract. I promise to keep the offer open for 15 days or till February 15th in exchange for you paying me $20. You pay me $20, now I don't have the ability to revoke the offer because we have a contract to keep it open. If I breach that contract by revoking the offer ahead of time, then you'll be able to sue me. And we'll talk about remedy.